Alright everybody, welcome back to another Dead by Daylight video. So today, we're going to talk about my favorite perk in the game. Save the best for last, better known as Typical. So this has been a contentious perk for about 6 or so months. Behavior said they were going to nerf it. Actually, they said they were going to change it in the patch notes for January. And we have received that said change. Now, I'm going to preface everything I'm about to say by saying I am fine with the change. As far as I think it's in the right direction, I don't think it's enough. Now, you might be sitting here thinking, but Bennett, you love this perk. Wouldn't you want it not to? No, it deserves to be nerfed. I really do think it does. But I want it nerfed or changed in a way where it's not so brain dead, if I'm being honest with you. The problem with the current change is what it basically does is they lowered the stack percentage by 1%. Which means that overall, once you hit 8 stacks, it's 8% less, so it's almost in line where it used to be, pretty much, before the changes they did to the killer wipe animation a long time ago. But they made it so if the obsession loses a health stack by any means, which includes plot twist, which includes your M2, blah blah blah, includes a lot of other unknown factors, etc., etc., etc. If they bleed out from deep wound, if they get deep wounded, I haven't been able to test that or seen anyone test it, but I'm pretty sure that would count as well. So, what is the problem here? The problem is it doesn't address the main issue of Save the Best for Last, in my opinion. One, it doesn't address when you're at full stacks at a hook anyway, so it didn't fix that problem, which is a whole other thing. But the biggest issue I have with Save the Best for Last is that basically this encourages more so the idea to completely avoid the obsession. I'm not going to dance around that issue. If someone isn't in a coordinated team or the obsession doesn't notice the killer has Save the Best for Last, they're not going to be body blocking to get rid of the stacks. If they don't bring plot twists, they can't just do it passively. There's no way for them to really coordinate unless they are in a swift. So in solo queue, this nerf really doesn't do too much. I do have to do some testing exactly how much distance you get now from full stacks. It shouldn't be too much different. 8% is maybe a couple seconds difference. So we'll see. But, like I said, there needs to be more. I'm not going to sit here and say gospel. Like, my idea for changing it is the best. But my idea for changing it has always been, once you hit 8 stacks, the obsession changes. And it goes to the person who is closest to death hook. So the person who is least or most likely to die soon is my suggestion. That way you're discouraged from going for them and you have to go for somebody else now. I think that's a perfectly fine change, in my opinion. I'm going to keep saying that over and over again because I don't want this to sound like it's the only one that matters. But the way current Stabifil is versus how it's going to be changed on the PTB, not only do I think it's going to cause more people to tunnel and ignore the obsession completely, I think it's also going to mean that people who were using it on killers like Demogorgon and Deathslinger and Pig are going to get better because they're going to stop, one, using Stabifil as a crutch, and two, they're going to stop going for those hits to kind of throw so they keep their stacks. Because it doesn't matter what they hit you with. They'll hit you, like the Demogorgon's going to hit you with the M2, or M1 if he can, rather than trying to go for the M2. Deathslinger doesn't care about preserving his stacks anymore. He's just going to reel you in and hit you no matter what. There's no reason for him not to now. So I'm curious how that's going to affect it. Do I think it's like a super, like, this change is going to ruin the game or anything? No, of course not. I don't think it's that bad at all. I don't think it's enough, and I would love to see another nerf to Stabifil. And once again, this is coming from someone who uses it on almost every killer in the game. This is my favorite perk, right next to Coup. And I really just want it to be in a healthier place for both sides. I don't think it's fair that the killer just has to avoid the obsession at all times. The counter argument to that is, what about something like running it with Game of Foot? Sure, you can do that. I think that's perfectly fine. The problem there is that you have to run 2 perks just to allow fun for it, not even to make it useful, just to allow fun for it, as far as not having one person on the enemy team just not get chased at all. But in any case, I'll stop rambling about Save the Best for Last. Tell me what you guys think. I really want to know, because I'm curious on the general consensus. a lot of people are kind of just like with it, but I really do think this is going to encourage a completely different playstyle with the perk. And it's going to reinforce the idea of just leave the obsession alone. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. With anything, this is just first impressions, so we have to wait and see exactly what happens. Who knows? Maybe the game will change in a way where this is actually good. I don't know. Maybe with For the People Buckle Up changing the obsession so much, maybe that's fine. Who knows? That's a good question. I don't know how that would work. Because would it count the person on the ground as the obsession, or would it count the person who just did it as the obsession? Whatever. Anyways, more testing needs to be done as well, so on exact interactions. But anyways, I love you guys. Like and sub below, all this stuff. I am taking a week all away from streaming while I work out some IRL things, so don't worry about that if you want to follow the channel for when I'm back. Completely understandable. We are at 22 games on the no add-on Chucky, and we'll have a new killer interview up for you guys next week, which should be nice. Next week should be Wraith with our good friend Squid on Twitter. It's going to be up on Wednesday or Tuesday. Still not sure on the days yet. But yeah. In any case, love you guys, and bye.